Oh, I hope you're listening to this. There's laws of the land that will immediately go into effect based on his action.
Amen.
When I was a baby Christian, I was actually thinking of learning how to write in shorthand because the pastor was talking, and then I found out you could buy the tape. So I just bought tapes. I had libraries of tapes because I knew I couldn't get it all. I couldn't write fast enough to keep the revelation. The tape I could back the pastor up anytime I wanted to. His decision that led to action set in motion laws of the land that have authority to dictate his future. But it all started on whose decision?
His decision.
The criminal's decision, the lost man's decision, the godless man's decision. Selah, meditate on this, chew it up, get it in your heart, make it real to you. Now, replace that godless man with a Christian that lost his job in the economic crunch. His house is on the brink of being foreclosed on. He can't feed his kids. He doesn't have faith like he should have. So in desperation, he goes out as a Christian, breaks the law and robs the bank. What's going to happen to the Christian?
Same thing.
Come on, raise your hands. I want, Alan?
He's going to go to jail. Same thing.
The exact same principles kick into effect whether he's a Christian or a full-blown God-hating heathen. The laws kick into effect with the same exact ultimate results. So we say, well, why is all this stuff happening in the church? Why is all this bad stuff happening to Christians? Because they're initiating godless laws. Look, Tony can run and jump off this balcony. You know what's going to happen? What law is going to kick into effect?
Nothing.
Jeff?
Nothing.
No, brother. Brandon?
Gravity.
The law of gravity. He's saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. You know what? Law of gravity immediately kicks in. He's going down.
Amen.
I can get a crack dealer out here and say, brother, here's $10. Jump off that balcony. Does the law change at all?
No.
The law exists and operates to whoever taps into it. Hallelujah. This is good teaching, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
So instead of sitting around for the rest of your Christian life scratching your head and scratching the tip of your nose with this lost, I wish I could find America look on your face. Why is this happening to me? And how come nothing's changing? What laws are you initiating in your life? Based on your actions, which are a result of your decisions. The end result's going to always be the same. I can jump off this balcony today. What do I have? Gravity. Tomorrow, what do I have? Gravity. Next month, what do I have? Gravity. Next year, what do I have? The law's out there. The second I tap into it, it always affects the same way.
Amen.
Amen.
The laws of God, eternal. They created the law of gravity.
Amen.
I can tap into them now like Jesus tapped into them 2,000 years ago. What's going to happen the second I choose, by faith, a conscious decision to believe this word and act on it? What's going to happen? See, you don't understand the laws of God created the laws of nature. The laws of God created your thinking, whether it's sanctified or not. If I operate the same laws that Jesus operated in the same spirit of faith, what's waiting out there to kick into effect? The laws of God.
Amen.
And what will happen? Something different? Does something different happen for the heathen that robbed the bank than the Christian that robbed the bank? Does something happen for Tony that jumped off the rail? Or the crack dealer that jumped off the rail? No. The law, the principles, the precepts, the ways of those laws work exactly the same for whosoever will. That's why Jesus said this. Listen. Jesus said this, the works that I do, ye shall do also.
Amen.
Amen.
See, you don't believe that, or you'd be going, wow, that's too cool. Why? Because he raised the dead. He cleansed the leper. He cast out devils. He didn't sit around being harassed by demons. He cast them out.
Amen.
Devils didn't keep Jesus up with worry at night. Demons stayed up worried at night that Jesus would come across their path. That's why a long ways off they would start crying out, Jesus, son of David, have mercy! Before he ever got close to him or opened up his mouth, they were panicking. But yet Christians are walking before worried. The devil's harassing me. The devil's picking on me. I got this spirit of fear. What? What's the core problem? What we're choosing to believe. Because what you believe, you're going to act on. What you're acting on is going to initiate laws that absolutely, immediately, profoundly, for a fact, kick into operation. That's why you can't live in two worlds. That's why Jesus said that. You got to choose one or the other, because whatever you choose, you're under that law.
Amen.
I'm not even talking about going to hell. I'm talking about Christians suffering the same curses that they're delivered from. That's why you can know so many Christians that doesn't seem like this just turns into a fairy tale to them. Because they've been convinced it doesn't work for me, therefore it's just a good book that, listen to me, it's just a good book to teach good moral standards, and even that's relative because after all, that's the Bible, but this is real life, and you're sucked right into it.
Amen.
You're sucked into putting this law, unlimited, all-powerful laws of God's Spirit from the all-powerful God, put in print his instruction manual on how to defy the laws of gravity, the higher law. You immediately turn that into a fairy tale, a storybook, and submit to the lower law, which is the law of curses.
Amen.
Brother, it's flu season. Did you get your shot? No, thank you. I didn't get a shot. What about last year? Didn't get one last year. How much did your shot cost? $45. Well, that's $45 of God's money I saved. Well, didn't you get sick? No, because by His stripes I was already healed. Why would I get a shot?
Amen.
See how the two laws work? So you get all these Christians lining up for their yearly flu shot because all the heathens have taught the Christians this is a fairy tale, and real world is you need a needle stuck deep in your arm, cause you pain, and then pay you for it. And what did He do, Pastor? He gave you a little bit of the sickness so that you would believe you won't catch the real thing. And every time you do it, you're being injected with the curse of the world. Now, I didn't say going to doctors is sin. I'm talking about an example, a law. Or you can choose to believe this and be injected with faith, save the money, and walk in health. What's the difference? Now, here's the bottom line of what we're here for today. What is the difference? Think for just a minute. What's the difference between the guy that watches the commercial, it's flu season, immediately grabs his wallet, goes down to the nearest, hello, come on, pay attention. Goes down to the nearest pharmacy and gets in line for his yearly flu shot and pays money that he really doesn't need to be thrown away for a shot for something that he may not ever catch. Are you catching? Are you getting this?
Amen.
Is this okay, folks, or are you bored?
No, okay.
What's the difference? What's it boiled back to? Listen to me very closely. What's it boiled back to? You thought you had to think in college. What's it boiled back to? There's an origin. What is it? What is that origin? It's quietness, Pentecostal church. You know why? Because we never really took the time to meditate on stuff that affects the future of our lives daily. Here's the origin. Here's the matrix. What decision did you choose to make? Who did you choose to believe? You have to choose. You have to choose. You choose every day. There was a time that set the direction for your life on you chose, and you choose it every day. Am I going to believe this holy Word of God as the actual put down in print, sacred, holy words uttered by God Himself? Am I going to believe that and choose to make it, listen, final authority in my life? Or am I going to choose to make it a book, but choose to think like everybody else that knows not God? Because what you choose to think is how you're going to choose to live.
Hallelujah.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so he becomes. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You'll live, you'll talk, you'll walk, you'll act like what you've decided to make authority by some. How do I know I made authority? I didn't make that authority. Did you submit to it? Then you gave it authority.
Amen. Amen.
We have a sister here that's a wonderful woman of God, Brother Tony, wonderful man of God. Tony, I'm going to pick on you some more, okay? I'm going to use you as an example. Tony's a veteran. By the way, God bless all you veterans, these wonderful men that have served our country. And we just celebrated the Marine Corps' birthday. Happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps. How do you get in the Army? How did Brother Tony get in the Army when he served our country? Raise your hands. Come on, I want participation. Alan?
Decided to.
You have to talk real loud so everybody all over the globe knows that I'm not talking to sock puppets.
How did he get into the Army? He chose to?
He chose to. Well, brother, there was a draft. Only for the ones that chose to stay in the country. Because there's thousands of them that chose to go to Canada. That decision alleviated them from all laws of this land. They became outlaws. Outside the laws.
Amen.
You can ponder this for months, trust me. How did he end up getting in the Army? He chose to. That decision did what? Ultimately made his body end up standing in line, taking a physical exam, having his hair cut, and ending up in boot camp. Submitted to a whole realm of rules, regulations, and laws he never knew existed until he made the decision. A whole different world of guidelines and way things are done. Never revealed to him until he made a decision. But now, not only did he make a decision, that's what he became. He became a soldier. In that decision, what did he give to the Army? Yes, but there's something he gave first. In that decision, what did he give the Army? Man, I know some of you folks are missing 90% of this, and this stuff will change your life. And that's why you'll never understand me, because I'm in a whole different realm than you are. Because I made a decision to be in that realm. What did he do when he made that decision? What did he give the Army?
His life.
Authority over him. Whatever you decide to embrace becomes authority over you. Whatever you give authority over you shapes what you become. Oh, this is good teaching, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
That's why you can be saved 10 years and look absolutely nothing like a Christian. Walk nothing like a Christian. Talk nothing like a Christian. Act nothing like a Christian. Because you never gave His Word final authority in your life. But what you decide to give authority in your life to, that authority shapes the future life you live.